Who's actually going to get the most out of a bow-mount electric trolling motor on a kayak, and who should just keep paddling? If you're wondering whether the Minn Kota Riptide is a smart spend for your everyday paddles, stick around. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'm going to walk through the moments that usually trip people up, the day-to-day setup, the hidden trade-offs, and exactly where the value lives beyond the headline 55 pounds thrust. Let's start with the hesitation most new buyers feel. You've probably seen a dozen videos where a motor whirs to life, the kayak glides forward, and the whole trip feels effortless. The promise is seductive, but the reality is that you're adding a piece of hardware that has to play nicely with your boat, your battery, and the water you're on. The Riptide is marketed for saltwater, so if you spend most of your time on calm inland lakes, you might be paying for corrosion protection you'll never really need. On the flip side, if you're a coastal explorer who's tired of battling tides and wind, that extra rust-proofing could be the difference between a motor that lasts 5 seasons and one that quits after a single summer. Installation is the first practical hurdle. The bow mount design means you'll have to drill a small hole in the front of the kayak and secure the mounting plate. For most anglers and touring paddlers, that's a one-time effort that can be done with a drill and a couple of bolts. The Riptide's easy stow/deploy system with auto park does help. Once the hardware is in place, you can push a button and the motor retracts into a compact housing, protecting the prop from debris. In my experience, the auto park feature is genuinely useful when you're stopping to fish or just need to paddle manually for a short stretch. You don't have to wrestle with a tangled rope or a loose clamp. The motor just folds away and the shaft slides back into the bow. Now, the GPS side of things is where this motor tries to stand out. Minn Kota's advanced GPS navigation system with spot lock technology gives you a map of the waterway, lets you set a waypoint, and then automatically steers the kayak back to that spot when you hit the spot lock button. For a fisherman who wants to drop a line at a specific reef and then return without losing his place, that's a real time saver. The system isn't a full-blown autopilot. It only holds a single point, but the simplicity means you don't have to learn a complicated interface while you're out on the water. In practice, I've seen anglers set a spot lock at a baitball area, let the motor hold them steady while they cast, and then press the button again to head back to the dock, all without fiddling with a smartphone. One of the advertised strengths is digital maximizer technology. In plain language, that's a power management chip that squeezes extra thrust out of the same battery. If you're running a standard 12V deep cycle battery, the motor will give you a little more run time than a comparable unit without the tech. The trade-off is that the controller is a bit more sensitive. You'll notice the motor responding almost instantly when you twist the throttle, which is great for quick bursts but can be a little jarring if you're used to a smoother, slower acceleration. It's something to keep in mind if you're a beginner paddler who prefers a gentle start. Speaking of batteries, the Riptide doesn't come with a battery. You'll need to supply your own. That's not a surprise for any trolling motor, but it does mean the total cost can creep up quickly. A decent 12V, 100 Ah battery suitable for the 55 pounds thrust can run you anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of continuous use, depending on how aggressively you throttle. If you plan short trips of an hour or two, you could get away with a smaller, lighter battery. But if you're aiming for a full-day outing, you'll need a bulkier, heavier pack that could affect your kayak's balance. That hidden expense is where many first-time buyers get caught off guard. Who should buy this motor? If you're a serious kayaker who regularly ventures into tidal bays, estuaries, or windy offshore spots, the combination of saltwater-grade corrosion protection and GPS spot lock is a compelling package. Anglers who need to hold position for long periods while trolling for fish will appreciate the autopark and the extra thrust that lets the kayak stay on station without constant pedaling. The motor also fits well for people who already own a reliable 12V battery system and are comfortable handling a bit of DIY installation. In those scenarios, the Riptide's features actually translate into less time fighting the elements and more time doing what you got on the water for. Conversely, if you're a casual paddler who sticks to calm lakes, enjoys short sunrise paddles, and doesn't need precise navigation, the Riptide might be overkill. The price point is higher than a basic 30 pounds thrust model.